you're going
Yeah,
to
move it a little bit. All right. Is that all right? Speak up. Okay. All right. Now, this, as you can see here, the three skiers are coming down and about to hit the final jump of this race. And just stop there. You will see that this is obviously the perspective from the finish line, but these racers cannot see at all what's on the other side as they're approaching this this jump. And even though they may have inspected it before, it's quite different, particularly when all three are coming over the jump in or about the same time. The other thing I want you to observe, and you're going to see more in a moment, is the blue painted lines on the hill. What you see on the right of the screen is the outside right boundary, where the course designers would anticipate the skiers to land. In other words, the skiers, according to the course design, would land well inside that blue line. The other thing I ask you to observe is the building that you see right behind the jump. You'll see that it is this building that dictates the position of the last jump. And as a result, the jump, in fact, steers the racers to the skiers' right. And you also see that that blue line, just hold it there, you'll see, that's fine, if you see that blue line, as I say, which is the skier's right outside boundary, is basically in the middle of the jump, not lined up to the right side of the jump from the skier's perspective. So as they come over the jump, look forward. Everybody at this point is in perfect position. There's absolutely nothing untoward. Yet Nik at this point is literally seconds away from his death. You can carry it forward. Now I want you to observe where the first skier, which is Chris Delvasco, is landing. Stop there. He is landing on or about the blue line, the outside skier's right boundary. You have to ask yourself this question, for those who have the audacity to suggest that Nik somehow is off course. Why are all three World Cup elite athletes far to the right? And the answer is because that's where the final jump directed them. And we'll go forward and we're going to see that the Johannes III, the French skier, well, look where he's landing. He's already landing outside the skier's right boundary. Carry forward. Now, what happens if you stop there, Chris Delvasco is able, after he hits the line, because he's landing on a groomed hill, he's able to steer back within the painted line. Now, just stopping there, at this point, you'll see the Johannes, the French skier, is now not in great position, and now he's been able to steer himself back inbounds to miss the finish line post. But look at Nik at the far left of your screen. At this point in time, he's just about to land, and he's in perfect position. This is in all respects a perfect landing. Now you see here that he's touched ground. He's in complete control. But I ask you to observe, and then later, if you can get greater close-ups on this, you will see that he is not landing on a groomed hill. He is landing in what's known in skiing as crud. There is probably no alpine event at any time, anywhere in the world, where the hill is not perfectly groomed right up to the fence line. Now, if you go to the right side of the screen, you'll see the fence, and you'll see that it is, as it always should be, groomed right up to the fence. But on the other side, it isn't groomed, and you'll see a little bit of white. But what the fences are really protecting is building structures that are there on the left side. So now you'll see that Nik has landed. He's landing in complete control and just very slowly take it forward. Now, stop there. Now what's happened is that he's falling forward. How does an elite skier have any difficulty when they're having a perfect landing? The answer is because they didn't groom it. Not only did they not groom it, as I said, it is absolute crud. So instead of his skis gliding over the snow, they get submerged into the snow that's going to toss him further forward. If just forget about where the blue line is, forget about where the building is, forget about the fact that the final jump steers the skier to the right. If this had just been groomed like any other race ever, Nik would be alive today. He would have been disqualified because he would have missed that finish line post, but he just would have glided through and he'd be alive. So again, slowly forward. He then, because of it not being groomed, the skis catch and he falls forward. Now, here, he's now hit the fencing, and we're going to have more to say about this in a moment. This fencing that you see there is called B fencing. In our respectful view, absolutely the wrong type of fencing. B fencing is the fencing that you will see and it's designed to absorb a skier that has caught an edge or is sliding out of the course, and so they hit it, on the angle, and then it absorbs. And we'll have more to say about this in a moment. B fencing is not designed as for a situation like this where a skier is landing beside the fencing. That is what A fencing is all about, which we're going to come to in a moment. But as a result of the wrong fencing, he is not absorbed because the fencing, this B fencing, is not designed for this purpose, and it does what you see here. It's in his way. If we had another angle, that red fencing you see that he's hitting is slightly angled, and it is in his way, and he hits it. Now, after he hits it, you'll see what happens next. He's tossed into the air. Now, just if you could hold it there, I know this is very difficult. What is that snowbank, that snow there, doing right there at the finish line? This is like a brick wall. This isn't soft snow. And you're going to see this is what Nik hits and probably killed him. But the other thing I would ask you to observe, entirely apart from it can only be characterized as the grossest type of negligence that you would have that kind of snow pile, that kind of brick wall at the finish line, is look where the blue fencing is. The blue fencing isn't there to protect any skier from that snowbank. It's there on the other side because that's where the buildings are. And someone's going to have to answer these questions. Someone's going to have to answer all of these questions, including, at minimum, why isn't that fence on the other side of that snow? But even that alone wouldn't have done it because it's too close. That should never have been there. Go forward. So now he's being thrown the wrong way, and then you'll see that he makes contact with the snowbank, and then you'll see that after he hits that snow, he then is thrown. Well, you'll see, you can take it forward. He hits it, and now he's thrown out, and he's killed instantly. Now, this is not 1, 2, or even 3 examples of egregious negligence. It's multiple examples. Now, if we can go to the next frame, and we're going to show you a simulation. Now, here. So what we've done here, and you need to appreciate this, that everything is exactly as it was in real life. That is exactly where Nik was and where Nik was going to land. Now, this is to illustrate, if just they had groomed this hill the way it was supposed to be, then you would see that Nik would land. He would land on the same terrain as all the other skiers. He would have been disqualified, but he would have skied out, and that would have been the end of it. But they didn't. But what this illustration or the simulation also shows is what A netting looks like. A netting is designed for precisely this type of situation, and had Nik, as I said, let's assume that it wasn't even groomed, and he landed in the same crud, but he had the A fencing up. He would have hit the blue skirt, and then it would have absorbed him and pushed him out. That is precisely what A netting is designed to do. So again, you can just keep adding up the errors that had been made here. We go to the next frame. This is B netting. This is how B netting is supposed to work. That's a skier who has skied out, slid out, hits the B netting, and it absorbs. But it's designed for picking up the racer on that type of angle. And this example shows you how absolutely inappropriate B netting was at the finish line. We go to the next. This is what a proper finish line looks like. This was actually taken in Whistler 3 weeks ago, and you can see it's wide open. You don't have danger sitting at the finish line, and it puts skier safety first. And and Baby can expand on this later. But if you look at the FIS rules, all finish lines are designed for one skier. But in ski cross, you could have 3, 4, even up to 6 coming across. And so therefore, you have to, by their own rules, expand the finish area to accommodate, in the case that we're talking about, 3 racers coming over the finish line in or about the same time. They haven't done it. This is for one skier, and it is significantly wider and obviously much safer than anything we saw in the race that killed Nik. So now, with everything that we've brought to your attention, we're going to play this from the top in normal speed. So what you see is that while we break it down frame by frame, you can see that this is happening within a matter of seconds. So, so that is our presentation to demonstrate, frame by frame, that the level of negligence and incompetence here is so extreme that this cannot be swept under the carpet. We hope that the public, not just in Canada, but all across the ski world, will demand that this be properly investigated, that we get answers to these questions with the sole objective of making sure that serious changes are made and that such a tragedy never occurs again. Now in this picture, which Baby has put up, which is looking at it from a different angle, I just invite you to observe all the building structures to the right where this horrific tragedy took place. So now we're ready to have you ask questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. Put the lights up.